What's up? My name is Eric Braun, and this is another episode of the Realtor Spotlight. Today we have a very special guest, Miss Dana Palmer, and she's going to teach us the importance of team and how she's closed almost 30 transactions in her first 2 years of the business. So lots of gems, lots of nuggets, and I know you guys are going to enjoy this one. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. What's up, Miss Dana Palmer? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for taking time today to sit down with us, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. So I always like to start, like every other Realtor Spotlight, with how you got in the business. Well, first off, even before that, how long have you been in the business?
It will be my 2-year anniversary mark at the end of this month.
Awesome. Congrats.
Thanks.
And how did you get started in this beautiful journey we call real estate?
So naturally got my license. You kind of need that to get into this industry. Yes. Got my license, and I applied for the team that I'm on now, and literally the rest is history. Just hit the ground running and went. So.
And what caused you to have even interest in getting your license?
It was kind of just embedded in me. My dad was an architect and my mom was a real estate agent before my parents were even married.
Okay.
So I grew up with that background. I love HGTV as everybody does. Mm-hmm. Studied interior design for 2 years, got my associates, and then went right into real estate.
Awesome. So you have a design background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that play a role in real estate?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And all my clients are obsessed with the fact that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to interiors. They're like, oh, once we move in, like, you could come by. I'm sure. Okay. Yeah. Like, sure, I'll do that.
And so Dad was an architect. Mm-hmm. What sort of stuff did he architect?
He was the VP of a company in New Jersey, and then he also owned his own. His office was in Westbury.
Okay.
And
did he do like residential stuff or?
Yes.
Okay.
So
cool.
He did, from what I remember, he did residential homes for his entire time. But from like 2004 to I want to say like 2012, he did a ton of houses on the island. And I'm not even kidding. Every single house was like copy and paste,
right.
copy and paste. But it's what he was good at.
Okay.
So. And his company, I think, did commercial too. It just wasn't his thing.
What do you love about real estate?
I love everything about it, but favorite part would probably be, at the closing table, seeing everybody's happy faces. We got through the transaction, they get to move into their dream home. And
what do you not like about real estate?
The exact opposite of that. When the transaction fails, everyone's upset or people are losing money, and it's kind of out of our control. There's only so much we could do as agents. So you try your best to fix it, but you can't always fix it.
Yeah. I can always fix it. Call me now. 516. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think the emotional roller coaster is something that you have to be conditioned for. I think it takes time. I think at the 2-year mark in your journey, you've experienced your ups and downs at that point. Tell me a little bit about some of your downs. I know that's not stuff that we see glitz and glam on social media and, or HGTV like you mentioned. Yeah. But tell me some of your down moments. So the moments
What's been tough? I bury
that you try not to that you try not to talk about, but we're going to talk about them today.
I could tell you some failed deals if you want.
Please.
Okay, so I had a deal. It's probably like my 6th deal last year. No, I guess last year. I don't know. 6th deal in history. And it was a pretty big transaction. It was my biggest transaction at that point. I think it was for 1.7. Great time. Couple was amazing. He was a doctor. We were under contract. And after like a month, it was just radio silence. And that's usually like red flags, what's happening, what's going on.
Radio silence on the mortgage side, on the buyer side, just no communication.
No communication. When awesome. I would get to talk to the buyer, he's like, oh, all's good. I'm like, okay. Day before we're supposed to close, I find out that he had some Supreme Court judgment against his name. He didn't want to pay it. Nice. And the whole deal fell through.
Nice.
Everything. But his lender, I guess the superhero moment, his lender somehow found a way to make sure that he got his down payment back.
Okay.
He fibbed a few things just to get him in. I was upset, but.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's not fun, especially $1.7 million deal. I'm sure you invested time and energy, and that probably wasn't the first house you showed them.
No. I think it was only like maybe like the 6th house, which isn't that bad, but yeah, it was a lot of time. The inspection was like 4 hours.
Talk to us about where the market is today.
The market is insane today. I don't know what anybody else is saying, but yes, the inventory is extremely low. It's really a tough market, but if you're looking to sell, I would sell. It's going way over ask still, like 100K over ask if you're priced correctly. I feel somewhat bad for buyers, but if you need to move, you need to move. If you need to sell, you need to sell. The market's going to keep moving. So I don't know. It's a crazy hot market. I think it's great.
I think there's opportunity in obviously both sides. It's never the perfect time to sell at the same time as the perfect time to buy, as many real estate agents will try and make it sound. But I think as a seller, you obviously have the advantage of low inventory. Mm-hmm. As a buyer, you have the advantage of getting in before it gets even crazier when interest rates go lower. Yeah. So if you can get in now at 7% and refi into 6 or 5.5 or whatever it is, it's going to be better to do that versus waiting till we get 6 or 5.5 rates and there being even more buyers out there for the amount of houses. So I think it's an opportune time. It's also a good time to, although the news and statistics may say differently, I think it's a good time to be a real estate professional because it's in markets like these where you can kind of separate yourself from all the amateurs, right? Like if you have real skills, or let me do the opposite. If you don't have real skills right now,
it's gonna show.
It's gonna show, and it's gonna be difficult. Yeah. If you do have real skills and you're solid and you know your value and you know what you're doing, yeah, it may not be a banner year compared to previous years in your career. Yeah. But it's when the gap gets a little bit wider between the novice and professional. So I'm excited to see that. I think it's good for the industry. I think people like you and the team that you're linked up with are going to excel, and you are excelling. So talk a little bit about that. I mean, milestone's coming up, 2 years in the business. Yep. Tell us a little bit about your experience and brag a little bit.
I mean, not even at the 2-year mark, and I actually just looked at my home snap right before walking in here, so this information's fresh. I have 23 buy side and 3 seller sides in less than 24 months. Other things on the way. I have a deal about to get signed that's going to break team records again with one of our mentees. Not going to say the amount, not going to say the location because karma. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm extremely proud of myself, and I feel like I can brag because I've just exceeded all of my expectations. Awesome. In my first 2 years.
And what do you attribute that success to?
That question always stumps me.
just being incredible and beautiful and what else?
I have to, I don't know. It's my mentality and my determination. I don't like to give up. If I'm going for something, I'm going for it. You're not stopping me. I could sound rude, but I'm just going to go for it. I have to give a lot of credit to also my team and JD. They've taught me everything. They've given me everything that I've needed to succeed. So that mixed with my mentality and my outlook on life, it's just a home run.
I would think so. I think you hit the nail right on the head. I think if you're the type of person to lay down and just give up, this business will never work for you.
You'll cry in a second.
You'll never get through those lows and those deals dying and the challenging situations that need grit to get through. Yeah. I think when a buyer hires us or a seller hires us, they're relying on us to make things happen. Yeah. So you need to have that mentality first of like, I'm going to get shit done. And I think, that accompanied with the right resources and then also a glowing personality, you can is a trifecta.
Just check all the boxes.
Yeah. So talk about you just had I know I asked you about your experience and for you to brag a little bit, but you didn't mention, and I'm sure you've done tons of content and people have asked you in videos and you've talked about it a lot, but tell us a little bit about the award you just won.
So top 20 under 40, have done a ton of content. I feel like I brag about it too much.
Top 20 under 40, is it in your email signature?
Yes.
All right, perfect.
And
As long
Gold
as it's
Circle of
there.
Excellence too from Signature I got this year too.
What circle?
Gold Circle. So
Gold
Signature
Circle of
gives out
Excellence.
these awards once a year, and it goes off of your GCI from the year prior.
Mm-hmm.
And
What's
I got
GCI for the people?
your gross commission income?
Yep.
Question mark.
Yes, that is it.
Yeah. So they give the awards out. There's diamond, platinum, gold, silver, bronze, and then I think
Gotcha.
there's like rising star or something like that. I was the only one on my team that got gold. Danielle Leonard got platinum because she's amazing, and then a few others got silver and bronze. But so I have both of those in my email.
Gotcha. So you got Gold Circle of Excellence and top 20 under 40. So you explained what Gold Circle of Excellence is, which, by the way, the reason I'm asking you this is because it's my hope that a client who you speak to Googles your name and goes to YouTube and types in Dana Palmer real estate, and this video pops up, and they can understand why they're hiring you and why they should trust you. So don't feel like you're bragging in any way. I'm pulling it out of you.
Okay,
So Gold Circle of Excellence and then top 20 under 40. You explain what Gold Circle of Excellence is. Explain to me what top 20 under 40 is.
So top 20 under 40 is an award given to you or a real estate professional by LIBOR, which is the Long Island Board of Realtors. Their subdivision is Young Professionals Network, and they present the award. So you have to be under the age of 40. They just implemented the rule that you have to be in the industry for less than 5 years, which I respect that they did that, because I don't think it would be really fair for me to be going against someone that's been in the industry for 19 years, but they're 39. Like, it wouldn't be fair.
Right.
So every year, 20 agents are awarded this. It's based off of the year prior, so this was from 2022, technically. You fill out this extensive application. It was so long. It took me like a month. But it, weeds people out. And, 20 agents win it. You get that title for the rest of your life. You can only win it once. So, yeah.
Is it, and aside from those two achievements, are there any other achievements or awards that you've?
I don't think so.
It's pretty good, though. For 2 years, I think you've done a lot, almost 30 transactions, which is not typical at all.
And on the buy side, I had the hard side.
Right.
During this, like the past 2 years, it's like, oh, it's so easy to do that many. Yeah, if you're on the listing side.
Right.
I was dealing with bidding wars, like, on all of my transactions.
So talk a little bit about that, because you've been able to excel on a side of the business that was more challenging. Why?
Again, probably my mentality, my personality, and my determination. If I had a client, we went to go see a house, and I'm like, you have to tell me how bad you want this, so I know how hard to push for this house.
Right.
If they say we want it, don't let us lose this, I'm going to harass the listing agent, harass them about offers, what they have, what they're looking for. We have a team researcher, Barbara Leonard, and I would usually go to her, have her pull comps in the area, see where everything is landing. That way we know if we have to waive, an appraisal gap or contingency, or if the house is even priced worth it for them.
Right.
And I'll just follow up, become best friends with the listing agent, and clearly it's worked.
So this is the finesse that is required to be a good buyer's agent.
Yeah, you can't just submit any offer. Like, you can't just do it. You have to. There's research behind it.
Right, and that's a lot of consumers don't, or buyers don't understand that. And they don't understand why. I mean, listen, the market's challenging, so we can only do so much. But a lot of times they're working with a realtor for however long, and they don't understand. They just think it's bad luck or just the way the market is.
Yeah.
Why they're not seeing results. But then they start working with somebody like yourself, and I'm not saying that you make the impossible happen, but sometimes you do.
And sometimes.
But that's again, that gap that we were talking about earlier. I think if you have skills right now, you're going to separate yourself more than ever. So kudos to you to navigating how many people? 24, you said?
23 buy side and 3 listing at the
so
moment.
Kudos to you in navigating that many people to their goal, whether it's to sell or to buy. Talk about the team. So you mentioned the team a few times so far. Tell us a little bit about the Lennard team, what resources they give you, what they've taught you, and the systems and all that good stuff that come with it.
Okay. I will tell you as much as I can without getting in trouble. So
can't give away the secret sauce.
Yeah, no, some things, but not all things. So, for starters, the team's basically my family. You've probably seen my dynamic with all of them. We're basically family. We're a ginormous support system for everybody. We have our Slack channels for whoever needs anything at all. So JD, our team lead, John David, he's been in the industry for I think like 16 years. So that's 16 years of information, background. He's been in and out of so many different markets. Danielle Lennard is his sister. She's been in the industry for 20-something years. Again, she has a ton of knowledge. Our team founder, Richard, who is 83, been in the industry for 39 years. And anytime he walks into our office, you're learning something. This market, past market, what to look out for your buyers during a final walkthrough and inspection. You're just learning a lot. His wife, Barbara Lennard. I love Barbara. I call her grandma of the team. She's our team researcher.
Okay.
She's not a licensed realtor, but she knows the ins and outs of MLS and like how to dig up. She's basically a CIA agent for real estate. Pretty much. She could do anything. She could find anything. We have a transaction coordinator, which I'm learning most teams don't have. And she monitors everything for a transaction from accepted offer to closing. She makes sure we have all the documents we need, all the disclosures are signed so we can get paid at the end of the day. Not sure if you know, but if you have a closing and you bring your check in and you don't have everything signed,
right, you're not getting paid.
The brokerage is just going to hold your check and say you have to get everything done.
Right.
We have a social media manager, which is great because I don't have to think much through. Her name's Hillary. I love her. And I think that checks off like everything that we have without me getting in trouble.
Gotcha. I respect that. So talk about your social media journey, because I've known you for a few months now, and I've seen your kind of. I always look at business as like phases. So I can look at somebody who's in year 2 and be like, I remember and I only know so much, but like outside looking in, I think I remember being right there. Here's what she's experienced so far. Here's what she's trying to do and maybe work on. I like notice like patterns in people's journey. So tell us a little bit about social media, because I feel like you're like hitting your stride. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, the ball is definitely rolling on social media. So, I mean, in the beginning, when we didn't have any social media managers, we had one other before Hillary. I was kind of just trying to do it on my own, but I didn't know what to do. I was like, I could go on Canva and make some templates.
Right.
But I wasn't doing reels or posting consistently or what type of content or what hashtags. And since we've had managers, it was Amira prior to Hillary, and she pushed us, got us out there, did photo shoots for us. And now I have Hillary, and she just manages and tells me what to do. And since her coming on the team, I've probably gained like 600 followers. Like, she's just kept me very consistent. I don't know. I'm more comfortable with it now too. At first I was like, I don't want, my friends from like high school seeing this account. Like, it's embarrassing. This is silly. Now I'm like, if you're not following me, you're a loser. Like, like, what are you doing? Like, my content's funny, but I don't know.
I think I can definitely relate with that, because I feel like in the beginning you have a little bit of an imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So you're like, who am I to make market updates? And what do I know? And meanwhile, you have almost 30 transactions under your belt. Like, you know way more than 99% of the population. Easily. So,
but now my Instagram shows that.
Right.
Like, in the beginning, I had no transactions on my Instagram account. So I'm like, if someone sees this, like, I'm bluffing. Like, I don't know a thing.
Yeah, but you got to get over that, or else, because everybody starts there.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to share your wins. Like, a lot of people avoid I don't do it as much anymore because my business is on, I don't want to say autopilot because it's far from autopilot, but my business is on autopilot where like closings are happening and I don't post them as much as I used to, or reviews or screenshots of this and screenshots of that. But like, I feel like you need to do that, especially in the beginning, because you need social proof.
Yeah.
And a lot of people avoid sharing their wins on social media, whether it be a closing or a review or an award, because they don't want to brag. But if you're not going to promote yourself, who is?
Exactly. No one will.
Yeah. So I think you do a great job of, and there's a way to do it, right? There's a way to talk about your wins where it's not braggadocious and egotistical, and like there's a way. And listen, if you're not any of those things, you don't have to worry about being those things.
Exactly.
Train just caught me before. I was recording a video, and I was like, did that sound too like egotistical? He was like, dude, like people know you already.
Yeah.
Like, why are you worried about that?
They know your presence already. It's just like genuine.
Yeah, they know you're not a prick. I mean, some people may think I am, but that's okay.
I mean,
You can't make
you
everybody
can't rub
happy.
everybody the right
So,
way.
and that's another very important thing about social media is you have to learn that as well. Like, you're not going to make everybody happy. You're not.
Everybody
not
has
your job.
haters.
Yes.
Period.
If you don't have haters, you're not doing
Didn't make
anything. So I think a lot of people get caught up in that as well, like trying to make everybody like them.
Yeah.
I think that's common offline as well. A lot of people obsess about who likes them, who doesn't, and it destroys people, and it especially hurts your progress on social media, because if that's what you're constantly worried about, you're never going to put out content.
No, you get discouraged and that's it. You're done.
And yeah, it's I don't like how that sounded, or like, and we all have it to some extent. I'm not going to say that I don't have that anymore, but I'm definitely past
Better.
past where I once was. Sometimes I don't even like what I said, how I look, what I'm wearing, and I don't even watch the videos anymore.
Oh.
I just post.
I can't do that.
Yeah, I just post because I know it's not my, like, I'm not on social media to meet girls. I'm not like that. I'm on social media to provide value to my audience. And as cheesy and as generic as that sound, that is 100% the truth. And if I think a piece of information is valuable, regardless of how I look, if I focus on how I look versus the information being valuable, I'm being selfish.
Yeah.
So that's, there's certain like mindset shifts that happen throughout your journey, and you need to be taking action to eventually hit those mindset shifts anyway. So
Exactly.
you're a shining example of taking action on social media. Tell me about some of the results that you've seen other than the follower count. Have you got any deals?
No.
What benefits do you see?
Yeah, haven't gotten any like deals yet from my Instagram following. I think that's just because most of my followers right now are just individuals in our industry. It's not, consumers or buyers or sellers. It's really just realtors, attorneys, lenders, so on. Title people begging for me to use them.
What about loan officers? They have to be DMing you
begging,
as well.
and I'm just like, okay. Yeah, it's, oh, you have a moment to chat. I'm like, you're gonna give me the same spiel.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like, I'm fine. I don't need
It's
this.
like we were all cooked up in the same petri dish, and then we all sound the same.
Yeah.
I don't
the same
sound the same.
script book, it
Yeah.
seems like.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right.
So what results have you seen?
Just recognition.
Okay.
Like, I'll go to events now, and this
Right.
isn't like beneficial to my business, but I'll go to events now and I'll have people say like, oh my God,
I think
like,
it
I've
is
seen
beneficial.
You. Maybe. I don't know.
I think it is, especially as a buyer's agent.
True.
As a buyer's agent, if somebody's like friends and following you and they've seen your, what is it, minute.
Oh, Mic'd Up Mondays.
Mic'd Up
Come
Mondays.
on.
Sorry. I knew it was something with an M. If they see that and then you're walking through their listing and showing your buyer their house, I think that does help.
Yeah, I mean, the agents tend to want to do deals with agents that they know, or lenders that they know, or attorneys that they know. So it definitely helps. I actually just had an attorney. I came from a closing right before this, and the attorney came out of the office to give us the checks, and he was like, I just saw you on YouTube. And I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, great.
That's how you
But-
know. That's how you know things are starting to click.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my first experience like that. I was at a networking event in Queens, and which I didn't really have a presence in as far as that market and those real estate professionals go, or that group of real estate professionals. And I was at an event, and I'm like coming out of the bathroom, and you know that like awkward, like you just washed your hands.
Your hands are wet.
Your
You
hands
don't
are
wanna
wet, and then
explain why they're
somebody's
wet.
gonna come over, and they're like, "Oh, So I was doing that. I was walking out of the bathroom. I just washed my hands because I'm hygienic. I have hygiene, and somebody whips around the corner, like literally jumps out in the corner,
And
like
did
this,
the little jump thing.
and did a little jump thing, and goes, "You're not your average lender," and I'm like. Yeah,
Just
but
like
I
the
just
quick,
washed my hands. But yeah, that was a cool little moment in my journey as well. So you're starting to do that. You got tons of transactions and experience.
Mm-hmm.
You got plugged in with the right people. You got awards. Tell us a little bit about you personally. Where did you grow up?
So 2 different towns.
Okay.
I was raised in Hicksville
Okay.
until 9th grade, and then we moved to Amity Harbor, but I went to private schools from 6th grade and on.
What private school?
6th grade to 8th grade was Our Lady Mercy in Hicksville, which is unfortunately closed now. They didn't have
Okay.
enough students. And then 9th to 12th was Holy Trinity in Hicksville as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
How was private school?
I mean, I loved it. I didn't have to pick out clothes every day. It definitely gave me a lot of structure.
Mm-hmm.
During that period of time, sorry, Mom, I'm going to talk about this. During that period of time, my parents were going through a divorce, and I was just like avoiding home naturally. It's just like, well, this isn't a great time. So private school gave me the outlet to avoid home. I did 2 varsity sports all 4 years also. So I would leave home at like 7:30 in the morning, and I wouldn't get home until like 9 p.m.
What sports?
Cheerleading and gymnastics. And it is a real sport.
Yes.
Just wanna put that out there.
I would say so.
Cheer is officially in the Olympics. So
I don't know how the hell that is, but
you know what? You know what? Because it's not just like,
listen,
yay.
it's a sport. I'll give it a sport, but Olympic sport, I don't know.
Have you
Jiu-jitsu
seen
isn't even
competitive?
an Olympic sport. Just judo.
Oh.
Whatever. Taekwondo too.
Hmm.
Maybe karate. That's unacceptable, honestly. That cheer is a.
We
is
fought
a,
for it. Like,
Yeah, maybe we just don't have the right lobbyers.
yeah. Cheer has an extreme
no.
background. So, have you seen competitive cheer? Like how insane it
Can't
is?
say I have.
Okay. It's not like, standing on the turf outside of a football game.
You're like tumbling.
Yeah. And they're like flipping girls.
But isn't that
like,
gymnastics?
Gymnastics is just tumbling or like bars or like
So it's
bouncing,
gymnastics with
like lifting
audio.
people. No. No.
with cheers.
Because competitive cheer, you're not even really like cheering. You're not
Okay.
shouting or anything. You're
Nothing?
just doing a whole routine basically.
So it's synchronized gymnastics.
No.
What is it then? Explain it to me.
It's
'cause-
like stunting.
okay.
Like a group of people are picking up one girl and throwing her as high in the air as humanly possible. And
But
she's
don't you
doing
do
a whole
that in
bunch of flips.
gymnastics?
No, you don't. Gymnastics is an individual sport
Gotcha.
with a team outcome.
So it's group gymnastics.
Sure. I'm giving you homework.
I'm simplifying it. Let me simplify it in my man mind.
You're
I
getting
don't
like
understand.
warmer, but you're not there
All
yet.
right. So we got group gymnastics, and you also did gymnastics.
Yes.
In high school. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gymnastics, if you had a gymnastics background, it benefited for cheerleading,
Gotcha.
basically. So
Did you also did we had a little tech hiccup
Issue.
Did you also dance?
no.
Because I feel like
Those are 2 different realms. That's
nah,
the thing.
it's the same stuff.
No.
It's the same
Because if
stuff.
you were in dance, you did kick line. But if you were in cheer, you did gymnastics. It was it was separate.
So it's like a Venn diagram, and then in between there's cheer.
no. You don't like,
All right.
I don't know.
But you
I
were
don't know.
varsity?
Yes.
So so obviously it was at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how high level you can do of cheering, but no, I'm just kidding.
You're
I'm
going to
just- I'm
YouTube
just
cheer
kidding.
after this.
I'm just kidding, and I don't want the cheer mob coming after me
There's
and
a lot
canceling me.
of us.
So how did athletics at a high level
Mm-hmm.
affect your real estate business?
It's really just the discipline and like consistent, like you have to consistently try and like grow. So in cheer and gymnastics, you had to keep trying to get better and get higher up ranks, whatever. In real estate, you have to keep looking to grow and learn more so you can stay as a top agent. You have to be determined to do so.
What do you think is the number one skill that a real estate agent should learn right now? And I'm not talking soft skills. I'm not talking about like, you know, candor and like I don't know, being compassionate. I'm talking about hard skills like real estate specific skills. What do you think is
That's a really
the
hard
most
one.
important? I stumped you.
That's
Didn't say
stumping
today
me.
was gonna be. Didn't say today was gonna be easy.
I don't know.
What do you think you're really good at? Real estate skills. Is it marketing? Is it putting in offer? Is it negotiating? Is it like
I'm good at negotiations and follow-ups. Like
Okay.
my team will joke about it. When I'm following up with someone, I'm on the line of harassment.
Gotcha.
I'm right there.
that's where you
Like,
want to be?
Yeah.
That's where you want to be.
I'm right there. But I also like if I have a client that I'm nurturing,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, "Hey, I got to pause for 6 months." I'm not going to ask them every 2 weeks, you want to start? You want to start? Hello? You want to keep going?"
Right.
I'll check in like, "Hey, how are you doing?" Like, "Oh, you said your mom wasn't feeling well. How is she doing?" Like, "How was your Christmas? How was your holiday vacation?" Like,
Right.
stay in the front of their mind, harassment, but stay in the front of their mind and not just talk about real estate.
Gotcha.
I'm like a monster with follow up, and my whole team will back me on that.
Talk about negotiating.
Well, we kind of touched on it briefly, how my negotiation skills because of all of the deals that I've gotten on the buy side.
Mm-hmm.
For negotiations and to be good at it, you need to know your market, you need to know your research and what's actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's also good to have connections. So knowing other agents, knowing other lenders, knowing attorneys, like having a team behind you. So when you present that offer,
Right.
everybody's either on that email or you have it bullet pointed for them. You could have your lender call that listing agent right away.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things to make your negotiations better. It's just, leaving your comfort zone and wanting to do all of that.
Who taught you all this?
Mix between like John David, Danielle. We also go to Tom Ferry conferences a lot, which
Okay.
I probably should have put in there with the perks of our team. So I've gone to 2 Tom Ferry conferences, and there's another one in 2 weeks that we're going to in Dallas.
Awesome.
So in February, we went to Vegas. It was myself, William James, who's one of my teammates, Danielle, John David, and then Danielle's son. And it was the elite retreat. We learned so much. And Tom Ferry will fly in other top speakers like Phil Jones. If you don't know who Phil Jones is, I highly recommend looking him up.
Phil Jones.
Highly recommend. He'll fly people in, and then we just get so much input, so much information, and ideas that not your average agents would be hearing because they're not going and paying for these things.
Love that plug right there.
Right.
was that forced or was that natural?
No, that was natural.
All right.
JD didn't tell me anything to say.
All right, cool.
Promise
This
you.
that wasn't scripted.
No. He's also in Minnesota right now.
JD?
So, yeah.
So you mentioned Tom Ferry and coaching, and you talked about support and the team and the mentorship. Like, how important is that?
I think it's huge if you want to actually be successful. If this is your career, you should invest in your career, whether it costs you money or costs you time. Going to these conferences, they're not cheap. Our team fortunately pays for the ticket itself, but we're paying for room and airfare.
Right.
To go to Dallas, I'm paying like over $1,000 just to get there and stay there. That's not food or anything, but it's an investment in my business.
Right.
I'm going to make more money from going to this event.
Right.
So.
I think I can tell when somebody's going to be successful when on their time off, so not in working hours, they're working on themselves and their skills and their knowledge. Like, so for instance, when I clock out, which is really never,
We never
but,
clock out. No.
but when I get home from the office, my like continuous self-improvement doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Right. So, or even like in my in-between moments, like if I'm in the shower, I'm listening to something,
Like a
whether it's
podcast?
mindset, a podcast. It's very rarely entertainment. It's more so like learning
Okay.
or in industry updates. Sometimes I'll listen to my own stuff. I know that sounds like self-obsessed, but it's really to get better at interviewing, because I'll notice it's all I'm obsessed with getting better.
Yeah.
That's
It's a great way to be.
I think that's the only way to be if you want to be hyper successful. I think that obsession of wanting to be better comes from a place of feeling inadequate. so
Maybe.
so I think that's where it comes a little bit from. But I think nonetheless, it's a good quality to have, and I can tell when somebody's going to be successful when on their off hours they're like, let me learn this, let me listen to this. You know, I'm sure Train here has invested hours and thousands of dollars into learning to be a better editor.
For sure.
And camera like I couldn't even imagine, especially money investment. I mean, just equipment alone.
Yeah. Everything in here. It's
yeah.
not cheap.
Well, yeah.
He's just nodding his head like, yeah.
Yeah. and then, you know, and then people have the audacity to question your skills and your value. Like, I think if a consumer only knew your track record, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, but if a consumer only knew your track record and also the time, energy, money that you put into investing into you and your business, they'd be like, of course I'm going to hire you.
Yeah.
And I'll pay you extra.
But you
right?
can't just like whip out the receipts sometimes without sounding egotistical, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I mean, listen, I think sometimes you got to whip out the receipts.
Sometimes.
You
Now
know?
I just send my business card because it has the top 20 under 40 on it.
Nice.
So I'm
Little
like,
flex.
here you go. I'll
Little
send you an
flex.
email too with everything.
Do you think social media and networking and the events and all the stuff that comes along with the business, do you think it's a distraction?
I think that like the events and networking can be a distraction if you're not going there for the right reason. You know, I love the events. I'm trying to
Big
go to
event
as
girl.
many as possible. And if you're just going there to drink and party and have a good time and not network, you're not there for the right reasons. Sure,
Right.
you could go, whatever, pay your money for the ticket. We'll donate it to whatever, you know, it's going to. But you have to utilize those events to make them worth it. So
Right.
you'll see me like running around an event like, I got to say hi to this person. Like, I have to say hi to this person. Oh, I don't know them. They're important. Let me go shake their hand.
Right.
I definitely think that helps me win top 20 under 40.
Right.
I made sure
That
to
everybody
meet the
knows
right people and, you know, make connections with them. They're all amazing people anyways on the board for LIBOR and YPN, so they made it easy. But, like, people need to make use of those events or it's just a waste of time and a distraction.
I agree. I think a lot of people, especially social media, I think a lot of people are not marketing their business. They're trying to be popular.
Yeah.
And not only does it show, but it's also a complete waste of time. And it's like it's like an insidious effect of social media is like you start because you want to market your business and you want to do more deals and you want to get your name out there. And that's the reason you start. And then it turns into like you're getting so much like dopamine and feel good from all of the love.
I call it clout.
Right? And then all of a sudden you're doing social media a little bit differently.
It shifts.
Yeah,
you know?
it shifts into you want clout. You know, I only know that because I've been through it. So I'm not, you know, I'm speaking as somebody who's been through phases, right? But yes, that's my general belief is a lot of the times people are going to events to drink and eat, and to me, like sometimes I'll go to an event and that is what I'm there for.
Yeah.
Because now it's like I have friends. My friends are in the industry.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm hanging out with friends. But I it's very easy to fall into that. And then it becomes like, all right, it's enough, you know, and then you get to the event, you want to leave as soon as you get there because you realize. So it's that's why I want to change that.
With your events?
With my events, here's my plug. Where, you know, brewery and winery are like the parties.
Yeah. I was at brewery. It was a party.
So the brewery and winery are like the parties. Let's have fun. Let's do that twice a year. That's all I need. Just like I only need like 1 or 2 vacations a year. That's all you need to get it out of your system, in my belief. And then you have Not Your Average Agents, which is like information. We're here to work on our business. We're almost, you know, turning off our phone, if you will.
Yeah.
And doing a mini Tom Ferry, right?
That's basically what it was, a mini Tom Ferry. And I was at your last one, and I will say, William was there also. I drag him to like every event too. And
shout out to Billy.
Love Billy. So we were sitting there, and he just like, all right, we like to go. Him and I, we like to go events. We do drink, we do network, but you know, it's a happy medium. And we're sitting there, and he's like, I'm almost afraid to go to the bar right now. And I was like, it's not that type of event. Like, I really don't think. And he's like, Dana, no one's getting up. And I'm like, good. Then it's working. Whatever he wants is working. And I was like, let's just chill. But we didn't bring anything to sip on. So I'm like halfway through and I was like, I'm going to die. I need water.
And then you're drinking tequila?
No.
Okay.
No. Tequila's a no for me. Like, I will do it if I have to, but it's really just a bad time for me.
Gotcha.
I don't recommend it. But no, once you did your lunch break, I was like, oh, water. Okay, good.
I want everybody to be thirsty and hungry, but like focused.
I was just like, what do I focus on?
Like let's set this phones, food, drinks aside.
Yeah.
Let's not even freaking network. Like, you guys don't even need to talk to each other right now. You'll do that after. Let's like hone in on the info and get better.
And we got a ton of info from it.
Awesome.
A ton of info.
Awesome. Shout out to Not Your Average Agents.
Right?
I admire how much you've done in such a short period of time. And I think a lot of newer realtors will look at those numbers and be like, how, right? So why don't you speak to the new realtor right now?
Okay.
And tell them 1, 2, maybe 3 things. Go on a rant. The mic is yours, because I want to make sure that they get value out of this.
Should I talk to you, or am I talking to the camera now?
Talk to me.
Okay. New agents, join a team.
Okay.
Join a team. Like,
you're literally
just
the 4th person.
join a team.
Like, I think everybody that is successful says that, so maybe you should. I don't know, but go ahead.
Like, when I say join a team, I 100% mean it. Even at least in the beginning, you don't have to stay on the team for the rest of your life. And I've said this before, JD, I'm not leaving. But join a team until you have the momentum, and don't leave too soon. A lot of agents will come onto teams. I've seen it even on our team. They'll come on, they'll do like 10 transactions in a year, and which is pretty average for our team. They'll do 10 transactions, and they're like, oh, I'm good. I'm great. I know what to do. And they'll leave.
Right.
And then they faceplant.
Right.
They don't have, the referral network. They don't know how to do a full transaction because we have a transaction coordinator.
Right.
So it's stuff that you normally wouldn't worry about. And the lead flow. So 1, join a team. 2, do your research. Like, MLS is your best friend. It's also like a CIA tool. Know the houses, know the inventory. You're only going to better the experience for your buyer if you're doing all of these things. Number 3. I don't know.
Give me 3. Give me 3.
I know. I gotta think. I'm just giving away all my secrets. I said research for 2 or grow for 2?
Both. I don't know.
Okay.
1 and 2.
No, I got a 3rd. I just have to think about how I want to do it. Number 3, use your time wisely.
There you go.
It's so easy to just you don't have a boss really in real estate unless you're on a team. You're being held accountable, but to an extent,
Right.
You're 1099. No one can tell you what to do.
Yeah, nobody's telling you wake up in the morning.
No. But have a schedule. Your calendar is your best friend. Stick to your routine, and you will see success from it.
What is your routine? Last question.
Depends on the day. I do wake up at like 6 every single day. I try to get to the gym. There's just some days that, let's say my cat wants to cuddle for a little bit longer, and the whole day it just gets messed up.
I don't have a cat, but I relate to that somehow.
So yeah, typically I'll go to the gym in the morning. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, those are my set office days, except for today because we're here. So I'll try to get into the office by like 9. Typically, myself, our transaction coordinator, Diana, and Billy, we're the first 3 there.
Gotcha.
Billy and I and the 2 other agents on the team are also mentors. So we try to get there at 9 so we can work on our own business before we have to help them with theirs. So Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, we sit down, we get there at 9, we do our business, and then I'll usually sit with my mentees a little bit later on in the day. We do role play. Sometimes we'll cold call. But outside of that, full normal day, like not in the office, wake up, go to the gym, come home, have a protein shake, open my laptop, like immediately. If I'm drinking breakfast or eating breakfast, I'm on my laptop. I'm seeing like who needs me that day, what new houses came to the market. I'll send them to my clients, confirm any appointments, and then usually go shower, get ready, and go do showings if I'm not in the office. So
Gotcha.
It's a clustered day. And I usually don't close my laptop till like 10:30 at night.
Yeah, sounds like a producing real estate agent. So no secrets there. Lots of hard work and staying consistent. So I appreciate your time. This was awesome. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this, and I always enjoy talking to you. So maybe we'll get you on a second time. We'll see you next time.
That sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
Dana Palmer.